Hi there. Hi there, Dr. LaQuita Jane. Welcome to my YouTube channel where I talk about all things in between being and becoming a pharmacist. How you doing? You alright? Welcome to day 13. It was not day 12 of Let's Grow to this Vlogmas. And today's Vlogmas is very simple. Sometimes you gotta go through, you gotta give yourself, I'll say grow through some things, but you gotta give yourself some rest sometimes. Oftentimes we don't talk about enough of giving yourself rest. And today is one of those cases where I was like tired from the week. It's been a very busy week, but I was just tired. We had our job Christmas party. Um, I didn't get any footage. If I'm honest, I was an hour late. And truth be told, it was like, you came right on time. I said, oh, I did. Good deal. I didn't want to go. I'm just tired. It's been a long week. Um, Good week, but just long. But, and today was one of those days I didn't have the space, the energy, got out the bed. I rest. I must have had a contractor come over and he didn't show up, and I was like, I'm not even gonna complain. We'll try again tomorrow because I literally rest all the way up until the party. And I'm like, oh, I'm glad I got myself up. I should show y'all. It was so cute. I had my hair in a little bun, had Christmas lights and stuff all in there. It was so cute. I ain't got it done though. It's okay. Um, Today's vlog is like we're gonna have a little FaceTime and just talk because I don't really have much to talk about honestly. I want to talk about rest. That was one to make sure you say rest. I got any feedback about people from yesterday's video. I know it was real. I mean, it is. Sometimes you have to be accountable with stuff. And I see you guys like the video we do goal planning together, like having sessions like that. I do want to talk about that because I do want to set some goals. I think we've been like really reflecting on the year and making sure the year is good. We're really going to some concrete things. And if you like business or something, like I'm more a business too. And I was gonna do a business video, like what I go through and look and see, like how I grown business. Like sometimes we get so stuck in like financial stuff. Don't get me wrong, you need money to make a business, but um, there are other things too that brought different different things your way. So definitely say that, for sure. Um, Also, I'm gonna have this conversation. This is a conversation I'm gonna have. I was listening to Eric Thomas. He is doing an encore of the 1%, 1%, right? And he was talking one day this week. Him and his daughter was talking, and it was something that made me really think how we can have this gift. Because one, people always have told me this, right? But my cousin had made a point to say it during Thanksgiving. She was like, you're you could be very bossy. And I said, yeah, I know. She said, huh? I said, I know. Um, that's something I know. Um, and I have grown to accept that about myself. Like I have. And she was like, she was throwing it because she was like her sister. And I we're both Virgo. She's like, it's that Virgo. I'm like, nah. I just grown to know it. It's like for me to live in 4 different states, for you to have 3 degrees, for me to publish, be an author, author a book, for me to be a co-author in a book, for me to be New York Times Square, for me to be guest hosts on be guest speakers and different organizations and schools. Excuse me, for me to not only practice as a pharmacist but have a business as well. Like it takes somebody to be bossy. It takes somebody to say, I'm gonna go where there's no path and leave a trail. It takes someone to say that. It it takes that. You have to go and have those moments, and it takes that courage to go do that. And for me, I had to accept that. But I know with that too, and hence I'm saying I've learned it by myself. But the other thing, and it's kind of like also the catch-22 of it all, is that I was listening to Eric Thomas. He was talking about his him and his daughter having a conversation, and how he's the #1 motivation speaker in the world, and how he can do that rah rah, go get it. You know, when you want to see the best, you want to breathe. You versus you, you owe you. He can do all that and be so great in that space. But his daughter doesn't need that. His daughter can't handle that. His daughter said, "No, that's not mine. I don't need that." And it was one of the things that brought of like, we have these gifts, but the gift gotta be in the right environment. And what does it look like in different environments? Like, for instance, LaQuita, her bossiness is good in leadership roles, very results driven, and may not be as good as in coaching, not good in romantic relationships, may not be good in just relationships, period. But you see what I'm saying? I think oftentimes we don't think that. And another thing that came up, it was just hearing those stories, like hearing from him and his daughter, like, and I was like, that's what I'm saying. That's what the grow. Let's grow to this Vlogmas is about. It's about showing those different sides. Saying that you're not the only person that go through it, or like, you can learn. We all can learn from somebody. And I even had one of my friends, and he was like, "LaQuita, I saw some of your videos. Like, girl, I just been praying for you." I'm like, "Thank you." But honestly, I wanted to show the real rawness. Sometimes people just don't get. We live in this world of so much AI, and people like posting everything is good, and they turn up inside. I want to show you I want you to see as me, and my highs are highs as well as my lows are lowest. Like, I want you to see that. I want you to see like what it's like. We are like being this high achiever, and the things we go through, and the things, it happens. Like, great things don't happen with people just by luck. I'm mitosis, or what's meiosis, meiosis. Like, things don't happen like that. It's, hey, we have to get things and do things right. And I want to make sure I show that. Another thing, and I'm going back because those are things that stood out. And another thing that stood out, when Eric Thomas' wife was on the phone, like did a call, and she was saying like how, he says how he was living in abandoned buildings, and how he quit his job, and and his wife's like, "But how's gonna support?" But honestly, it was like hearing her voice of the turmoil that took on her, and how it affected her body in a sense. And it made me think, like, at one point, LaQuita was always making excuses when I won't work out. Because I had to say, like, body. I had to come to this conclusion that body over bag, and make my health a priority. And it's one of those things, like, so far, like, even the things I have done, like how, I don't know, I got something in my eye or something just not right. But I'm trying to keep talking. But it made me really think that, what did it look like for me? Like, I've been I'm trying to stop saying like too so much and all the filler words. But I said it again. I spent all of my 20s in school, and the early part of my 30s. And I said, I want to be in school like that. I want to live. I'm ready to stop paying for my dreams to pay me. That has been, my motto. And I wonder, hearing her story is kind of like the wear and tear she put on her body, because at one point she was the sole provider for the house, the breadwinner, and the turmoils that placed on people, like placed on you, and the effects of it. And granted, it did work out, and he able to take care of her, like, even her diagnosis and all that, take her to get her the best people, see the best things, so that's just good. But it's definitely one of those things to make you say, how am I setting myself up? What does that look like? I know, right? There was some good conversation make you say, And they got a couple more, I think a couple more days left in it. You can join I guess it's Eric Thomas 1%. Just all right, he just hit his ET the Hip Hop Preacher at 7 a.m. Central, 6 a.m. 7 a.m. Eastern, 6 a.m. Central Time. It'll be 4 Pacific. I think he got like a couple more days left. Just join. We get some out of it, okay? But let me go, because I feel like my head is itching real bad, and I think I'm being real. Scratching my head, like, because it is. But anywho, again, like, comment, and share. Share this Vlogmas. If you enjoyed it, share it with someone. If you know someone it can help and bless, share it, okay? I want you to. I want you to comment and let me know you're liking. You're getting. You like the video, you comment, let me know. Okay? Until next time. Remember that pharmacist only you are. Look, I gotta do this. Now go be great. Peace, and I'll talk to you guys later.